All right, let's talk about alcohol. Okay, so first and foremost, there's no way of getting around the calories that are in alcohol itself. I've heard this a million times from clients. What about clear alcohol? What about whiskey? What about tequila? Alcohol itself has fucking calories. And it's the second most calorie dense macronutrient behind fats. Fats, 9 calories per gram. Alcohol, 7 calories per gram, and carbs and proteins are both 4. So there's no way of getting around that. There's no magic wizardry that you can do to have alcohol not have calories. So again, just straight by itself, pour vodka in a shot glass or whiskey or gin or tequila or whatever. And I don't care if one doesn't break up ketosis. I don't care. It still has calories, and there's no way of getting around that. Okay. So in generally for about a 1.5 ounce pour, so I think that's a typical shot, it's going to be between 100 and 150 calories. Okay. So small differences between the alcohols, but again, there's no way of getting around that. So kind of first thing is, if you're extremely serious, you're prepping for this, you're prepping for that, you got a vacation or a photo shoot or something like that, then trying to eliminate as much as possible is probably going to be best practice here. Okay. But at the end of the day, this channel and myself and my business, my personal training business, we preach balance. I'm someone that does drink on occasion. I've had my fair share, and I will continue to have my fair share. So let's go over some tips, tricks, and strategies to help us fit this in our life, again, without having the anxiety beforehand or depression or any of these things after, because it needs to fit in your life. All of the research literature that goes into like entirely eliminating something, it never ends up going well. So let's just have a balance, all right? So first tip, since we know again that alcohol itself has calories, is trying your best not to add any additional calories to the drink itself. So this could be something like having, vodka and soda water. What else I got here? Rum and Diet Coke, gin and light juice, or a no-calorie juice. So that's probably going to be the easiest way to save additional calories, is just trying to mix it with something that has little to no calories in it. Trust me, I'm a big margarita fan, but I've seen some of these fucking margaritas get up to 500 calories, all right? So what I do is I just try to have these sparingly, because, man, you have 2 or 3 of those, it's a ridiculous amount of calories, which, again, I think is totally fine, and we'll go over that a little bit later on. So when it comes to hard alcohol mixed drinks, best practice, best thing is just going to be limit the calories that you're adding to it. Try to stick to no or very low calorie mixes, all right? And then if you're not feeling like hard alcohol, sticking with the lighter beers, the seltzers, the Trulies, the Quads, things like that, is probably a safe bet, since you can routinely find these for around 100 calories. But again, if you end up chasing the buzz and you need 5 or 6 of these, it adds up. So just be aware of that, and don't feel like, ooh, I'm going to drink a Truly and have a shortcut to drink less calories when you had 8 of them or whatever, okay? So this is something that you have to kind of gauge and do your own experiment on. It's, have 2 mixed drinks versus 2 Trulies or whatever it is, and kind of play around with it and see how you feel. Sometimes for me, I'm more in the seltzer mood, and I'll go light with that. Other times I'm in the mixed drink mood, but that's going to be your best to limit calories when it comes to alcohol. So let's see here. And now let's kind of get into strategies to help fit this in. Now, if you've seen any of my last videos, you will be very familiar with this first one, and that's just kind of banking extra calories. Just like anything else, just like fitting in a meal out or a celebratory meal or some holiday meal, something like that, where okay, this outing is going to be X amount more calories. So essentially, we're just going to bank some up. Now, when it comes to alcohol, and again, this is if I'm really trying to play the macro game, I try to utilize my fats and carbs as my alcohol. A lot of these apps won't have alcohol as a macronutrient, and I still want to make sure that I'm consistent with my protein day to day. That one, I try not to change. I try not to, and yes, you can go, I really want to fit all my, drinking in, so I'm going to lower protein. If you absolutely have to, sure, but that's the last macronutrient I personally try to touch. Protein consistent, I'm going to manipulate carbs and fats to, again, fit in these treats, these drinks, these things like that. So, again, lowering carbs and fats through the beginning portion of the day. If you're going to drink at night, again, just essentially banking those calories and trying to come up with a plan. I know this is much easier said than done. You start drinking, you forget, you want to have fun. So that's another hard thing, and we'll touch on that a little bit later as well, too. But again, banking some calories. Hey, I'm going to have 3 drinks. That's around 300, 400, 500 calories. Let's see if we can bank that. So we have that, again, additional caloric budget to spend on alcohol. Okay. And then from the other side of the coin, increasing energy expenditure. It's the exact same thing. It's kind of choose which one you want to do. Do you want to burn extra calories to give yourself plus 300, or do you want to save extra calories by not eating them with plus 300? But these are, again, just different strategies that you can put in place to essentially just have a larger budget for those drinks. That's it. Okay. And then kind of the last strategy is just having a YOLO day or night. Again, going back to my last video, realizing that this one outing and it's not a huge deal as long as we're not doing this on a freaking daily or maybe even weekly basis. That's generally the strategy I take, to be honest, because once you start getting a buzz on, everything goes out the window. And then this next point is going to be, again, potentially the worst part of drinking, in my opinion, is getting a case of the Fuckits. And we all know, and we all feel this coming on, the stronger the buzz goes on, you just stop fucking caring, unfortunately. Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know, it kind of depends what you're trying to get yourself into. But you stop caring. So it goes from, ooh, I'm going to stay 2 to 3 drinks. But once you're on that 3rd drink, you can very quickly say, fuck it, let's go, and I understand that, and I go through that a lot. So for me, I'm usually either like, all right, it's 1 or 2, or I'm going to just say this is going to be one of those, again, YOLO nights, for lack of better terminology here, where I am just going to have fun, and I'm going to just try my best not to have a ton of these nights. Because not only do you go in the fuck it mood where then that turns into, 14 drinks and you're like, fuck it, let's go to Denny's and Taco Bell and Del Taco. And then you just eat everything in sight. But then you have to remember also the next freaking day. All right. What happens? You're hungover. What do you want to do and what do you not want to do when you're hungover? You want to fucking eat greasy food and lay in bed all day. You don't want to move. You don't want to hit your steps. You don't want anyone telling you you should or shouldn't be eating this, or you should stay on your diet or track macros. Hell no, that all goes out the window. So just keep that in mind too. And that's why, again, everyone has a different strategy. For me, I just limit my alcohol exposures because more times than not, it turns into some of those nights. Now, if you're someone that really likes it frequently, and you say, I'm cool with having 1 or 2, that's totally fine as well. So again, these are just different strategies and tips that I use. Play around with them. There's no wrong or right way. But to kind of wrap up, biggest thing is manage expectations, have a plan or strategy, or don't and have a good night. All right. So thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And let me know below, what do you do for drinking? Do you have any strategies or guardrails in place? Or do you just say, fuck it, let's have a good time? Let me know. Thanks, guys.